the NowDriven app on an iOS device. It still should be pretty similar as far as an Android device goes. So follow along, grab your notebook if you need to, and I will be going over every little detail and aspect on how to use the NowDriven app. So first you want to do is, you can see it on the bottom right hand corner. All you see is Now D. It's because this is in beta, and as soon as it gets approved, you'll see it'll say NowDriven. It'll actually look like this one right here in the bottom right hand corner. So since it's in beta, we're going to go ahead and use that account. Alright, so this is your login page. On your login page, you'll put your username and your password, and then usually want to click the remember me the first time you did it. If you forget your password, you can click the reset button, or you can log in through Facebook. Now I want to show you, when you do try to log in through Facebook, that it's going to ask you for your Facebook credentials the first time around. After that, it shouldn't again. I can't use it on this one because I have a different account and it just won't work, but it's pretty much self-explanatory. So let's go ahead and log in the normal way. I'm going to hit login. Okay, so the first thing you're going to see here is what is considered the dashboard. On the dashboard, you will see 4 boxes, and the very top left-hand one says leads on hand. This is the number of opportunities you currently have that you are still workable. These are the new leads and the working leads. The next spot on the right is the total payment. This could be a number based off what you want to stick in there. You could either stick in what your commission amount would be per sell, or you could put in the total sell number, or you could put in the annual premium, or you could put in, if you were like in real estate, you could put the value of the home or a broker or something like that. So that's up to you what you want to see there, and you'll do that every time you disposition any type of new lead. The next thing is the green box that says sales. This is the number of closed deals. And the next one on the right hand side is the number of presentations. And the thing about these 3 last boxes here is that it'll reset itself up at the end of every single month. So every month it'll reset and it'll start from 0. So every single month you'll see where you're at for the month. The next thing that you see here is your goals. Okay, you can set your goals based off of a day, a week, a month, quarter, a year. Literally, you can pick any range of dates that you want to set a goal with. You can also name it whatever you want. So for instance, I named this goal for this month for Karl Schuckert. And you could see that this is based off 4 activities that you want to focus on to help you hit those total sales numbers. So if you look on here, you got presentations, drop-bys, which are basically drop-ins, number of sales, and the sales total. And we also have another one that's going to be added, which will be calls made. It's in there and you can use it. It just doesn't show up here yet, but it will. So anyway, you can see these here. And as you can see, I've got this month on here, and it shows that I did 15 out of 10 presentations. So that's 150% of my goal. Drop-ins, 31 out of 5. So you can tell I'm like way over my goals. But again, this is just a fake number, and it is just to show you or illustrate how it works. The next one here is today's events. So these are the events that I scheduled for today. So what this does is it'll let you keep you on track with what's going on. You can see these are both callbacks. I believe the one on the bottom does not have an address, so I'm not going to use that as an example, but what I'll do is I'll use the next one. The one up top, the Frank Freddy, 5 p.m. callback, lead name and business name, and as well as it's a restaurant, and then any comments that I've already added in here. So as you notice on the bottom, there's a pencil and there's it looks like a little receipt, or it looks like a sales item. That's actually the disposition button. Then you also have the calendar. It's really just a scheduler, so you can schedule if you want to change the schedule of this. Then you have the Skype button, which will be for Skyping out. I do want to make a note here that Skype changed the way that they code their phone numbers, and I'll show you for an example. This is an iOS device, so on iOS it's currently not working, and it's not our system, it's actually theirs, and it's one of those things that it doesn't matter which company you're with, you're going to have the same issue until they fix the bugs or they work it out. From what I hear from their blog, that it's expected to be fixed soon. But I'll show you as an example. So if I press the Skype button, it opens up Skype and it asks me if I want to call that phone number. The problem is, though, is if you look at the phone number, it's got some weird percentages and it has some added numbers and a question mark at the end. So that doesn't work. It will work, though, on your Android device. So You have no issues there. We also have the phone right here, which will call right directly out of your cell phone. You just hit that button, hit call, and then you're dialing out. So then you can go right back here. And then the very last one here is for routing out your lead. So you would press that button. It'll open up Google Maps, and then it'll set you up with your navigation. Now from here, you can actually hit the navigation button, and then it's going to open up and start navigating you with turn-by-turn instructions. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and close that, and you can see there's the route right there. But I'm going to go ahead and close that, and then open back up to where I was. See, if you notice, this is very simple. Everything is literally at your fingertips. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually go through the other ones that I didn't touch on, which is the first one, which was edit the lead, the pencil sign. So if I open this button up here, you're going to be able to see the create lead area, and then it's going to turn into the edit lead area, which is basically the same information. Only thing is one is for creating a new lead and the other one is for editing a lead. It's basically the same area. It just fills it out for you. If you notice on the top right hand side, I can do the same functions that I could do for where the lead was on the other spot. So I can change a schedule, I can route myself to the lead, or I can disposition the lead from right there. And I can get the information that I need on this lead right here. Let's say I did a phone call and I wanted to add a note. So you're going to open it up and you're going to hit the microphone button. I met with Frank today, and we're going to meet again on Tuesday. There. See how simple that was just to add a note, hit done, and that note's going to stay in there no matter what. And then I can just hit save, and I'm not going to change anything, so I'm just going to hit save, and now that lead was saved. So then the next thing that's going to happen is, say I want to add a disposition for the lead. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit this button, disposition. And when I open up the disposition, I want you to notice at the very top it says working. These are the different level of dispositions. There's one that doesn't show here, which is new. Anytime that you put a lead in here as new, it's going to automatically turn to working if you change the schedule on it, if you add notes to it. Anything that you do, it's going to automatically move that new lead to working, because at that point you've worked it and you've contacted someone and you've done something. So I'm going to keep it on working for right now. And there's two options on the next one. You can do phone call or you can do visit. Now, if you do visit, it's going to open up a few more options. See, it opened up the mileage tracker. So let's go back here and say it's a phone call. All right, so now on the phone call, it automatically is going to, date stamp every single time you use it. The next thing is if you've connected. So if you've connected or phone was busy or voicemail or no answer or hung up or wrong number, you can hit that, and if any of those other ones are picked except connected, it's going to give you this scheduler so you can reschedule. So at that point, you have the choice to reschedule the appointment. You can set it up as an appointment, callback, reminder, phone meeting, or other. So I could pick other, and then I can pick a time. So let's say I wanted to reschedule it for Monday. I can pick 1 o'clock. And then bam, it's set in there as a schedule. I'm not going to say wrong number. I'm actually going to just say busy. And then I'm going to add a note here as well. So you don't actually even have to add a note in the edit lead section. You can just do it right from the disposition. Met with Frank today, and we're going to talk again on Monday. Okay, so as you can see, I was able to quickly put in a comment. I was able to reschedule it pretty quickly. And then I'm going to go ahead and hit add. All right, so it successfully added a lead into my schedule, and it's going to push me back to the front of the dashboard. So anything that you do on the dashboard, looks like I actually rescheduled it for today, huh? Anything that's on the schedule or on the dashboard here, it's going to be added. Every time you do something, it's actually going to push back to where you were. So let's go ahead into the next step. And I want you to notice at the very top, there's a little back button, which is the top left-hand corner. And then there's this little bar that you can open up. So on the bar that you open up, you can actually search your leads, create new leads, or log out. So let's go ahead and search new leads. I'm going to show you something that's really cool about this searching your leads. lot of times in some of these systems, it's really hard to find a list of leads that you want to work because you have so many leads to work from. So what I always suggest doing is you drill down to certain sections of a city. So for instance, you could actually find like which zip code you want to work in. So let's go ahead and look at new leads. We're going to pick a lead source. Let's say like the lead source 1 was really hot for me. I was able to close a high percentage. And you're going to be able to know that later on when you log into the website. So let's pick those first. Okay, now you can see all the leads that are right here that are in that same area, okay? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pick a zip code that I want to work in. So let's say 89433. And this is great for people that are in the field. If you're on the phones, then I guess it doesn't really matter. You could just pick a state and then just focus on the whole state. So now that I've picked, I've got to press search. So hit search leads. So now it's based off of the new leads, based off the zip code, and based off the lead source. So it's going to show me all the leads in that area. Okay, so see now I've drilled down to just leads in this area. Now from here, I can do all the same steps. I can make a phone call. Oops, wrong button. And then see, I could press back. See, I just pressed back right there because I made a mistake. It's going to take me right back to my last search. So I don't have to re-push in those buttons and figure out what was my last search based on. It's going to have the exact same thing. So from here, if you noticed when I went backwards, it still has the same information in here. So I don't have to research for the same thing. Now, if I did want to make a phone call on one of these leads, I could just quickly hit the phone number and make a phone call. Okay. The other thing I want to show you that's really cool, and what it does is it'll actually allow me to make a little map. So right now there was a little bug we found in here. So I'd like to use my current location. One little bug we found in here though, and we're going to get this fixed right away. And so I can't really show you everything. But if you do notice right here that it has all the distances between every single one of these leads. Now they're all about the same distance. And it should actually show you from the closest to the furthest when you scroll down. You can also remove leads right here. You can still call out from right here. You can route out by hitting that little routing button. And the cool thing, like I was getting to, is you can go to the map. So once you go to the map, you can actually see your leads on one map. Now, like I said earlier, we found a little bug, so it's not showing all the leads, but it should be able to show many, many leads on one screen, and it's worked integrating with the new app into Apple. We've had a couple of issues. However, it's getting fixed, so no need to worry about that. So there you are. All the leads are there. Now let's go back, and I can go right back to where I was with these leads. And the cool thing is it kept my route still built up there, so you can still see the number 5 in the red box. So you can still see all those leads. So even if there was an issue with the Google map, when I open it up there, at least I can still see which one's further and which one's closer. So if I'm wanting to work smart and say I was doing drop-bys at homes or businesses or whatever the case may be, I can actually just hit the button right here and then get routed out to that lead directly, and then just hit that start navigation button. So anyways, I'm going to go back, open this back up, and show you a couple more things. So from here, I can actually open up here and I can create a lead. I can go back to searching a lead, or I can go back to the database. So the next thing I want to show you how to do is to create a lead. So the same information here is like you're going to edit lead. Only thing is you got to fill it out. Typically the leads that you're going to fill out will be like referrals or leads that you just happen to get emailed to you while you were out in the field or while you were away from your computer and you just didn't have time to upload them into there. This here is pretty neat because you'll be able to actually hand input some leads and then go to work with them right away. So you can get all the same basic information. You can add 3 different phone numbers, cell phone number, and business number. You can add a date of birth, which is a good idea, especially if you want to call your clients on their birthday. Sign date, effective dates, depends on what you sell. Some things have effective dates, real estate, insurance, stuff like that has a date that things get processed. Plan type, you can actually put in the type of policy if you made a sell. These are all the same notes that you'll put in here when you edit a lead. So there's only certain things that you have to put in here, which are the ones with the stars. So you can put first name, last name, and that's about all that you have to really stick in here. One thing I do recommend though is that if you're gonna get a name, you should get a phone number or an address, one or the other. Like if you're in field sales, you could get to the address and not get the phone number and drive by and say, hey, I was out to see so-and-so and they told me to come by and see you and gave me your address. That's your friend, blah, 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 correct? Yep, that's my friend. Okay, great. This will only take a couple of minutes and then go over the presentations. So anyway, going back into here, there's a couple of more things that you have to do. I highly, highly recommend that you always link these to a lead source that you've built. You know, if it's a referral from a certain source, say you had a church or something like that that was giving you a large source of leads every single month, you might want to build its own source so that way you can see what your closing ratios are and your lead, you know, what your lead expenses. Actually, expenses of referrals are pretty much free besides cost of gas and your own personal time. You can at least see what your closing ratios are and how much money you're making from that lead source, and it'll help you just track it. So let's just say we're using source one. And then assign lead. So you got to make sure you assign a lead. Now, I have a manager's account, so I've got the 4 different levels here: agent, supervisor, general manager, and regional manager. In order to get into these levels, everyone starts with an agent level. And then if you have like agents or you have salespeople underneath of you, you'll be automatically moved up to supervisor level. You have agents or you have managers under you that have agents or salespeople under them, you become a general manager in the system. And then the same thing happens for a regional manager. And then if you happen to have other regional managers, that's fine. They'll just be regional managers under you as a regional manager. So I picked regional manager because that's where my level is. And then I assigned it to myself. Again, what's another neat thing about this is, say I wanted to give this lead to one of my agents, I could go ahead and assign this down. You can't do this up, but you can do this down. So if you had like a big, large agency or a large brokerage firm, you could actually just assign leads down, or you can call your friend and say, hey, I got a referral for you over in some other town that you work in normally that I don't. So I'm just going to go ahead and send that over to you. Pretty neat. You won't be able to do this cross. Like I said, it has to only go down, and that would be the only way you could do that. But at least you have that access to where you can do it. Lead status. You can also like disposition your lead status on here as well. And then you'd hit save, and that would actually save the lead for you in the system. All right, so let's go ahead and open this back up and go back to the dashboard. Now, right now we are in beta. I'm not sure when you see this video if we'll still be in beta, and hopefully any of the bugs will be completely worked out. However, with computers, they change, softwares get upgraded, server softwares get upgraded. There's all kinds of little mechanisms when it comes to developing software that can happen and can change your system. If something does happen, or if there's some sort of bug that you find, you can actually take a picture of your phone. Like on the iPhone, you can press the top button and press the little round button on the bottom, and it'll actually fire a picture like that. It'll actually fire a picture of your screen. If you have any issues like that, please email them to support@nowdriven.com. If you have any questions or anything like that, you can email support@nowdriven.com, or you can go to our support page. All of that information will be found and is available at nowdriven.com. This is Karl Schuckert, and I hope you enjoy the system. Take care.